Jordan Peterson on why
Like,
beta males become
make
movie
chick-
stars. What the fuck? Bro, I thought this dude was retired, bro. He's back. Jordan Peterson's back in a big way, boys.
When did masculinity become something bad? As I sit here with ripped jeans and my legs crossed.
Maybe when all us men decided that we would accept that characterization of it.
I never accepted it. I mean, like, I don't know. I remember growing up, right? And I think I saw it like play out in movies. Like, I remember growing up and I remember seeing like
TV too.
TV.
It went from My Three Sons and Father Knows Best to
dude.
well,
To what are the
to every
nerds?
father being a buffoon.
Yeah. So I'm literally watching movies and I'm like, okay, Bruce Willis is saving the day, right? And then like 90s, Bruce Willis is still saving the day. And then it's 2000s. I'm like, do we have nobody new here? Is Bruce Willis still the only fucking man left saving the god?
Bro, here's what... Okay, I'm going to explain it very easily, okay? These concepts are what you make of them, okay? Masculinity could be a trait that you associate with, like, being confident, for example, or being brave, or whatever the fuck. Where versus when we talk about, like, toxic masculinity, it is a bastardized version of masculinity that insecure people, when insecure people that want to portray themselves as masculine, will engage in acts that hurt themselves. Okay? That's it. Like, for example, people being like, I'm such a manly man, brother. Look at the big fat fucking steak that I have. Like, it's clown shit. Okay? That's what toxic masculinity is. You're not fucking brave. You're not a leader. You're not like actually fucking doing any masculine things. You're just looking like a clown ass. But other insecure people are also responding to that with their lizard brains and assuming that, like, you're a fucking masculine person. Absolutely zero people will be like, oh my God, the male hero saved the fucking babies from an orphanage. That's toxic masculinity. It's not that, which is precisely why a lot of people who want to make this criticism will turn around and act like that's what fucking people are upset about. And I say this as someone who is pretty fucking masculine, okay? There's just a difference between, like, what you make of masculinity and what you consider to be toxic masculinity. Wear sunscreen, you are not stronger than the sun, homie. That's toxic masculinity.
Damn day. Like, we just ran out of young, I guess, masculine men that were going to be the heroes. And then all of a sudden, like, these, like, Michael Cera types, he could be a sweet guy, but he's playing, like, this imp guy, you know, who's just being, like, walked around on a leash by his girl in every movie.
Yeah, good got to be synonymous with harmless.
But I don't understand it because I don't think that you can make that a trend. I can't speak on behalf of chicks, but I don't think that you can, like, make chicks like beta males. I don't think that.
This is a great conversation. I love that we treat Jordan Peterson as like this brilliant fucking intellectual, and he's having a conversation with fucking Andrew Schultz, and he's like, yeah, you're making quite the profound point right now, Andrew, about how bitches don't be wanting to fuck beta males. Dog, you're literally having, again, this goes back to like the Joe Rogan thing that we were talking about earlier, where it's like, you're literally having the fucking conversation that like me and my homies had when we were 20 years old, sitting around on a fucking hot couch, okay? Sitting on a leather couch that's too hot, having this conversation in a living room. Like, this is not like some profound revelation, but to all the idiots who watch this shit, they see the college professor saying things that they agree with, and they're like, oh, this guy must be fucking brilliant. The things that he's talking about are incredible. Also, I love the fucking masculine, like, norms, gender norms, or what is decidedly masculine being talked about by someone like Jordan Peterson, who does cry from time to time when he thinks about the fall of Western civilization and men, which normally would be something that is like beta by the same metrics that they rigorously apply to standards, who isn't very masculine at all. I mean, he's a fucking college professor. The outdated, antiquated way of like thinking about masculine features does not apply to Jordan Peterson.
Exists, right? Like, don't we like what we like? I mean, maybe an outfit can change. Maybe we like certain jeans and other people like skirts. But at the end of the day, I think there's going to be certain characteristics of the opposite sex that we're going to be drawn to biologically.
Well, you know, one of the ones you already discussed is competence. Anybody with any sense is going to...
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like competence. Why is competence a masculine feature? I literally don't understand that. Like, what is the... Is femininity like not competent? Is it incompetent? Like, why is competence a masculine feature? That's why I said, like, it's what you associate with it. People just make that up as they go along, right? Competence is completely removed from masculinity. How the fuck could you sit here and be like, no, competence is actually biologically a trait associated with men and masculinity? Like, why? I don't understand it. I literally don't understand it. Like, unless your point literally is, well, women are incompetent. Women be incompetent.
Prefer competence unless they want someone who's emasculated and is completely powerless. And because then they don't have to be afraid of them in some sense. I mean, they should be more afraid of them, really. But, you know, when you can...
Maybe you don't understand because it's too feminine. In whose eyes? That's the other question. It's like, you look to someone like myself, for example, someone who is 6'4", 260 pounds, who eats 2 pounds of straight white chicken breast every fucking day, which, by the way, those are not my standards of masculinity. Those are your standards of masculinity. And you say, I am too beta in comparison to fucking Jordan Peterson. You know what I mean? Like, who decides this then? Is it just you? How are we going to sit here and be like, Ben Shapiro is significantly more masculine than fucking Hasanabi, dude? Are you kidding me?
Has anybody that you've studied throughout history managed to obtain a significant amount of power and done the right thing with it?
Well, I think most of our institutions that function reasonably well do that reasonably well, or had. But there's a huge difference between Joseph Stalin and Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah, a little bit.
He doesn't ever say anything. The thing I don't understand about Jordan Peterson is why people think he's so profound, because he just like reaches to the energy of a certain argument without fully subscribing to it ever. And he'll just keep making cyclical arguments over and over again, like cyclical points over and over again, which is like, you know, there's a difference between Joseph Stalin and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I mean, you get it. It's like, well, what is that? How does that have to do with like power or people who have like institutional power that don't go corrupt? I don't understand how you can make that argument and then not even make an argument and continue on with a difference between FDR and Stalin.
I wasn't being critical of the institutions.
No, I know. I know
okay.
You weren't.
Yeah, I'm just curious about like, a human's relation
Well,
to
you have
power.
a car.
Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah.
How often?
Currently, every time I use it.
So, like, if you use it 1,000 times, how many times doesn't it work?
0 out of 1,000. A car, right? You said car.
Yeah, a car.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, that institution is doing pretty well.
Yeah, because I'm
has
not...
a 99.9% success rate.
I'm not
How
mad
about
at the
flying?
institutions.
Yeah, have you crashed yet when you flew?
I mean, I think you're jinxing me, but no.
No, and they're so safe, it's just beyond comprehension.
How does this have anything to do with masculinity or the democratic process? What the fuck? What is he saying? I don't understand, dude. Maybe I'm too stupid, but I feel like that's not the case. I feel like the apple cider has rotted his brain to the core. Jordan Peterson fans are like Christopher Nolan fans in the sense that they're like, Jordan Peterson will have a fucking brain dead take on completely unrelated subjects that he like somehow acts like they're tied together. And his fanboys would be like, aha, you simpleton, you fool. You simply do not have the processing power to understand the incredible take that Jordan Peterson had here.
I think there's something about people who desire power instead of greatness. And I think that power comes with greatness, but if your desire is power, I think there is something dangerous there because you're willing to do whatever it is to maintain that power. Whereas
it's the mimicry of greatness. It's the mimicry of greatness. Oh. Greatness deserves power because you want the powerful to be, you want the great to be powerful. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, that's why we exalt these people that we believe are great. We want them to have it. They've earned it.
Well, who else would you want to lead you? I mean, if they're good at doing something, why wouldn't you?
This is so fucking idiotic, dude. Like, imagine trying to fucking defend meritocracy this hard, brother. Holy shit. People like Andrew Schultz and people like myself are living, breathing proofs that, like, meritocracy is kind of a fucking lie. I'm sorry, dude. It's just not real. No, it's just that, you know, people that are in positions of power deserve it. Why do they deserve it? Well, because they worked really hard. They're great and they're doing greatness. It's true, you're just mauled. Okay, well, I guess you're admitting that I'm better than you then, if it's true. And I've worked harder and better than you. I am just so much more important than you then, I guess. You are an outlier, not the norm. You commit toaster bathtub. You're an outlier, not the norm. You muppet. I'm not the norm. I'm an outlier. Got it. Okay. That seems like high dosages of copium, my friend. Also, again, know who you are speaking to. You are talking to someone who has worked very hard to be where he is, okay?
How do we discern between people who are mimicking greatness for power and greatness?
That's a great question. By paying careful attention, by listening, and by talking about it. That's the purpose of free speech. That's the purpose of political attention. Because you want the great, but it can be mimicked by psychopaths who use power. But that doesn't mean that power is the basis of our hierarchical human relationships. That's only the case when they've gone badly wrong.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, when a society is corrupt, then the powerful rule. When a society isn't corrupt, then the great have authority. That's not the same thing.
What? I really do feel like Jordan Peterson just fucking lets out word vomit and just and people act like they understand what he's trying to say. I've lost the plot in its entirety. This is just an endless loop that he keeps closing over and over again. Every argument starts and ends at the same point. The tautology, if you will. Like, literally everything he mentions is in its own fucking circuit, in its own closed loop. It's like this cycle. The great are great because they're great, and the powerful are powerful because they're powerful, and our institutions are actually wonderful because the greatness that derives from the power is led by the great and not the powerful, which would be corrupt, and institutions would be corrupt if the powerful were not great. Okay, sick, dude. Please give me $7 million to do a speaking tour now. Let me pepper in a couple self-help takes in here and take advantage of the fact that you have not had a positive male figure in your life. I don't know how this sounds complex to you. Well, it only sounds complex if you're looking to fucking derive an argument or looking to grab an argument out of it.
I do not admire power. I don't even care about people who are powerful if they don't have something that I admire, some sort of skill set that I care about. The only thing that's nice is like the ease of power. You can open up doors easier.
It feels like this is a conversation between like two fucking undergrads who took an intro to philosophy course and are having a conversation that is about like obvious generalizations that they're sitting there and pretending are like incredibly profound thoughts without actually digging deep into underlying reasons why they feel a certain way. For example, the best major to get you laid. Okay.